It is tricky to know how to start these kind of videos because, well, what do? Do you say, hey, it's great to be back, we love the Premier League? Yes, of course that. But then they're lowering us back in with, well, a 12:30 kickoff, Man City versus Liverpool. Two teams in transition, some players missing for Man City, some players coming back for Liverpool, certain players with chances for Man City. Pep Guardiola loves a little tinker. Everything's coming up in the preview on this channel. Stick around, guys. It's good to have you. But I'd also like to thank our sponsors. So let me thank those guys first by getting you to click on the link in the description down there and using this exclusive guys code. Because I have good news. After months and months of working and you guys getting involved with the journey, we finally have our first sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped, knowing spring are just around the corner, know that you need to spring clean down there, if you know what I'm saying. They were like, hey, let us send you the premium package 4.0. And it turns out it is really good for spring cleaning your parts. You probably know all of this already, but the Lawnmower 4.0 is an elite electric trimmer. It's really discreet, so no one's really gonna know what you're doing with this. Not that you should be ashamed. It's got this light right there. And the real key with this, it's got safe skin technology, which means you aren't gonna, basically it's designed to trim hair on loose skin, should we say. Listen, no matter how your balls look, they deserve respect. So use something premium on it, yeah? A Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Stick it in and you're away, or around there. The funny thing is, these are actually kind of idiot-proof, so I don't really know how I've done this. The package also comes with a crop preserver ball deodorant and a ball toner as well. Ball deodorant is going to change your life. Performance boxer briefs, a travel bag, which actually at the time of recording I didn't see. This would have actually been really useful on my trip. Anyway, it's getting towards spring now, so if you are thinking of a romantic break with your other half and you really want to make sure that everything is good down there. And on the flip side of that as well, if you've got a partner that you think might need a little, you know, and you don't just want to say it, you want to gift it, then this is the perfect way to do it. Seriously, some guys, sometimes they just need a little push. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a little, hey honey, I kind of got you this cute little bag and go trim your balls. Your man will also thank you because guess what? When you end up trimming down there, it looks great. So support yourself by supporting the channel and therefore the brand by hitting the link down there or scanning the QR code over here for 20% off and free shipping, all from Manscaped when you use the code LOZ. Anyway, back to the breakdown. Again, thank you so much to Manscaped, we really appreciate it. And you know, if you guys do want to help the channel out because this is how we thrive, this is how we live, then hit that description link down there and go take a look at it. It is as simple as that. Anyway, Man City versus Liverpool, a game which actually hasn't really favoured Liverpool in the Pep Guardiola era, although obviously Liverpool have got some famous results in the Champions League, things like that, but that was over 2 legs. There is a lot to talk about when Liverpool go away to Man City, especially after watching the 1-0 that happened earlier on in the season. James Milner starts at right back. Fabinho was a bit of a ghost. Obviously, Alisson got that incredible assist. Mo Salah with the awesome turnaround. Cancelo, who's no longer there at Man City, and he slotted away for the 1-0 win. Jurgen Klopp got sent off. I don't know if you remember that. And Man City just had lots of little fouls all over the field to try and stop Liverpool getting forward. It was a very different kind of vibe to what Liverpool have now. It was also a very different vibe to City at the time. And I think, weirdly, like they always say as managers, like, we're just going to open up and get out there and, you know, whatever happens, happens. I kind of love that. But it was quite a cagey, conservative, you know, when the goal went in for, I mean, City got their goal and then it was chalked off because there was a foul from Haaland on the way in and then Foden, you see in the corner, they're glad they got that goal. They're frustrated. They hate this Liverpool team and vice versa. And then when Mo Salah scores, Anfield just is so relieved. There's such a different vibe now. City are really rolling. They got that Burnley result, they got the Leipzig result, they've had some really good results, and things have really been beginning to click for City more recently. But just as things begin to click, it looks as if the two guys who are clicking, Haaland and Foden, get some, like, not even huge injuries, but minor injuries that may rule them out of this. Now, Haaland did go to a specialist doctor in Barcelona over the international break, pulled out of the Norway team, and maybe that changes things. In fact, I kind of would have liked Haaland to play in this game. I thought in the last game, Liverpool, they didn't have his number. You know, Haaland got plenty of opportunities, but they knew how to limit his opportunities. And you kind of want to play against a known quantity, especially if that known quantity in the previous game came up against Van Dijk and Gomez. Now it could be Van Dijk and Konate. I kind of prefer that as a pairing. Obviously, Konate is like one of the next big things at Liverpool. So there's kind of a tricky, like, Liverpool have upgraded in certain positions, but their midfield is probably a bit weaker in this game. Thiago's not going to play. Bajcetic is obviously out for the rest of the season. Maybe you get a Milner in, but I think you probably start Fabinho, Hendo, those guys. So there was a way of dealing with Haaland and the supply in the last game, which Pep kind of played that 3-2-5 or 3-2-4-1, as Chris Pajak and one of his friends laid out recently, Josh. Really great video. I'll put that link down there in the description. But the point is, like, there are loads of different iterations of this City team, and a lot of them recently have been with Haaland. If he's not playing, what are we to expect? Julian Alvarez through the middle, maybe Bernardo as a false nine, like that completely changes the way that City attack and probably actually plays less into Liverpool's strengths than Haaland does. Van Dijk loves a challenge with someone like Haaland. Konate will love a challenge with someone like Haaland. The smaller, trickier guys, of course, they're famously Virgil van Dijk loves locking those guys down. But if they can get a bit of separation, a bit of space, you worry that Liverpool are going to concede from those kind of situations and kind of silly, sloppy goals, almost like they conceded to Foden in the last game. So you do have that kind of worry there. And then there is the midfield. They've loved playing that box, which is what everyone loves to talk about right now. Bernardo and Rodri maybe sitting at the base of that, and then ahead of that you've got KDB and probably a Gundogan, but that becomes a lot more fluid. And then obviously that five up front just completely overloads. And Milner was the guy who started in that last game because, well, maybe he wanted to protect Trent. Trent did play, he played in the 90th minute, but maybe he wanted to protect Trent a little bit until there was a back three. There was a bit of questions around Trent at the time, which I don't know if they were warranted. I think there were, sometimes I think Trent comes into really unfair criticism for whatever they want to think his attitude is. No one ever questions certain players' attitude, but unusually we always question Trent's. And so I think this is different. I do think Trent starts this one. I do think that Konate starts this one. I do think that Virgil van Dijk, and I do think Andy Robertson starts this, and obviously Alisson. I hope Alisson starts. He's not been in the Brazil squad, so there's something going on there. I'm not happy about that. Obviously, you want to see him play for his national team, and you want to see him happy at Liverpool. You want to keep your players happy. So if they're playing for the national team, if they're representing in a way, then it's good, right? Anyway, the point is with Alisson. He's a great guy, just a really good character. You want him in the dressing room. He's a positive guy, very deeply committed to Liverpool and his religion. And I think that's important. So I love his calming presence. I also loved in the last game when he got the goal chalked off. And then in midfield, you go forward with probably Fabinho, who you hope is less of a ghost in this game. Probably Henderson, because you just need a bit of leadership. And frankly, that might be the midfield too. Because they've got a wealth of attackers now, Liverpool, they might go for Harvey Elliott, which, he'd be played as more of an attacker, but I just get the feeling that they're going to go two in midfield, but it'll be more like a 4-4-2, more like a 4-3-3 out of possession, more like a 4-4-2 out of possession, maybe more like a 4-3-3 in possession, but they will register as a 4-2-4 because there'll be two recognised midfielders. Harvey will operate as somewhat of a half-8. It's a good time. And then you've got Hakpo dropping a little bit deeper, Nunez stretching out on the left, Salah stretching out on the right. Salah obviously played much more through the middle in the last game, so maybe there'll be a bit of that rotation that Liverpool love to do. That could confuse that City back line. And also with City playing the three with Ake and the other two kind of stalwarts now, are we going to see Liverpool try and sort of overload there a little bit? Does that mean that Fabinho and Henderson are really good for that? Would you want Hakpo dropping a little bit deeper to pick up the ball and some people overlapping or going through those half spaces, getting on one-on-one? That's going to be an interesting matchup between the two sets. So there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to work out matchup-wise. I do like the individual matchups of Liverpool attacking-wise against that back line. I like Nunez. I like Hakpo as a matchup. And, you remember, and this is the thing, is obviously you can talk about those players individually. We can talk about them kind of irrespective of form for Liverpool, because there is a lot of positives. Sometimes you expect big things, sometimes you expect bad things. And no one expected the Man United result. I'm not saying, by the way, that Liverpool get that Man United result against City. It's a very different kind of City side. But I'm talking about Liverpool turning up. I'm talking about Liverpool being Liverpool, needing to start on the front foot, being a lot of pressure. There's a lot on this game for them. There's a lot for them to lose. They possibly really put themselves out of the top four race if they lose altogether in this, because the points total and difference will just be so much that Liverpool are going to struggle to make it up. But I've got to say, the reading and going down the last few results, Liverpool away, it was the 3-2 City in the fourth round of the EFL. It was the 3-2 to Liverpool in the semi-finals. That was nice. And then obviously we've also played the Community Shield, which was also a pretty decent result for Liverpool, and then obviously the Anfield result. But at the Etihad, it is 2-2, 3-2 Liverpool, but that was in the semi-finals. The FA Cups are quite different. You got a 1-1, and then the last one, was a big one, was a 4-0 to City. And if I go back to that game, that was a humiliating loss. I remember that. That was not pleasant at all. But in that game, it was Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. I think a massive difference in this game is Konate. Fabinho, Henderson, Wijnaldum was in that midfield, so it's such a different time for Liverpool. And then they played like Gabriel Jesus, weirdly, as a 9, which, maybe they'll play Julian Alvarez as a similar thing. So maybe there's that interchange between the two. But then Pep does love to tweak. Pep does love to fiddle and tinker. So let's see if that happens. I'll be interested to know if Pep it goes all out against his Liverpool team. If he's going to put on a brash, big Man City this season display, because certainly when you look at Man City, they've got the ability to take Liverpool apart. That midfield has got the functionality and movement, and it did it in that game at Anfield. Liverpool lived quite a charmed life. But obviously when you're going towards the Cup in the second half, it's quite different. But the point is, City had quite a few opportunities, and I would be surprised if they didn't think, hey, if we just continue down that vein, we'll probably get a similar result, and we can get a better, XG, because I think they had more XG than Liverpool in that game as well. Mind you, Liverpool did have some good opportunities. Jota had that header in that game, so there's that as well. And with that, I do think Jota probably plays. If it's not Harvey Elliott, I do think it's Jota who plays as that addendum to the attack. So you've got your 3, but then he's your 4th sort of. He's moving with Hakpo, and then Salah and Nunez have slightly more set roles. And that gives them a bit more strength in numbers, dropping deeper. Liverpool can probably push Trent into midfield a little bit more, although with Konate probably they can do that. There's going to be a bit more adaptability. I think Klopp basically, and the guys go out on this one, they basically go, we're just going to try it and see what happens, because they've got to be heroic. They've got to show the fans they want this. There's got to be some form of hey, here we are for this. And I think overall, weirdly, I have a bigger confidence in Liverpool in these games than I do in kind of a Bournemouth or something like that. So I'll be interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below what you think the result is. I think Liverpool can get a win, but I also think City could thrash them. It can go both ways. But I think Liverpool can get a win in this one. I know very often the Liverpool wins come as a surprise, so it's not a surprise if I predict it, but it does still feel like a surprise, even if you do predict it with this Liverpool side, if you get what I mean. The vibe is very different. So I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already hit Manscaped, let me know down there. We're going to go 4-2-4. They're going to go 3-2-5 or 3-2-4-1. It's a numbers game in this, but it's this positionless football now that Klopp's trying to play. There's much more total football idea, the passing, the movement. Can Cody Hakpo do it? There is belief in this, but there is also just this strange sense of we could get killed, we could kill it. So let me know in the comments below. I'll be interested to know, and I will chat to you guys in a while. Much love. See you, bye.